Welcome back to another Jecks hints and tips thing on how I write and answering questions from other people. And today, this one's for Leslie Sperling from Tennessee. Hello Leslie, I hope you're watching this because otherwise this is all a bit pointless. Leslie sent me a note saying, how do I get mental images of characters and scenes and translate them into sketches and then onto the written page? She also said, who or what is the most difficult thing to describe? As to who and what is most difficult, I don't really have too much problem with anybody describing anyone, because if you have a mental picture or if you've managed to see it, then normally you can describe it somehow. But what I think is very important is that I always get certain scenes. Every book starts from a particular scene. It doesn't start from making lots of notes. I always have a particular scene that will fire my interest. I had an idea once, a while ago, that I really wanted someone who was trying to fight and his horse wouldn't fight with him. So from that I got this, which I think is probably going to come up very shortly as an individual picture. But it's just a man on a horse with a sword trying to fight. I was writing one book when I went to a concert. My wife's a singer, and at Crediton Church she and her choir were singing Fauré's Requiem, and that gave me an immediate scene for a story, which was a bunch of pilgrims crossing a small roadway, and there was a steep hill coming up from that road, and I had a vision of a whole bunch of mercenaries and unpleasant men-at-arms racing down the hill towards them and killing them all, which then became one of the key scenes from Templar's Penance, I think. But very often it's difficult to get an idea about what's going to happen, so I will very regularly, while I'm trying to figure out an idea for a book or a plot or characters, I'll just sit down with a bunch of paper and make notes of faces, and every now and again I'll get a scene. So this is a scene of bloodshed, somebody riding past it in the middle of a battle, in the middle of a war, the 100 Years' War. That then led on to the ideas for Fields of Glory, and then this too, I had the idea for Fields of Glory and I started doing a few more sketches which was about the sort of men as I imagined them. So that can all be really quite useful in terms of just giving ideas. And with a book like this I do tend to make an awful lot of different sketches just of whatever it is I see around me. So that's just a picture of a street lamp, which I thought quite an interesting idea for a Victorian lamp. That might work well. But most of the time it's just different pictures of the dog or of people, just outline faces that I see on TV, and I think, well, that sort of face would fit in very well as this sort of character. And it is very largely that. It's just a case of constantly being on the lookout for the next character, for the next scene. I go away and give talks quite often. I was in a delightful town, Ottery St Mary, last year, and there, I apologise for the squeaking of the chair, in Ottery St Mary I discovered a really nice church and view from the church, so I had a sketchbook with me. I was half an hour early, so I had plenty of time to make some sketches. And that, I think, is all I can really say on the subject. It's always really useful to have a bit of paper with you. You can be taking notes or making sketches. Very often I'll take my camera phone with me, or my proper camera, and I'll take a lot of photos with that of any location I want to have a look at. But it's usually the reinterpreting when I sketch it, or when I sketch a face. If you're drawing something, you have to analyse it in a lot more detail than you would do just taking a photograph. So I think that's the most useful exercise for me, is spending a lot of time sketching in the details, drawing in the details, and then I know what it is that I want to pull out from that to put into the story, with the word pictures, as people sometimes call them. I don't, because I think it sounds horribly pretentious, but never mind that. So that's about it really. I hope, Leslie, that was useful. Do please follow this by subscribing. If you've got any questions or any other points you want me to look at, go into the comments box underneath here, that's useful. Share these videos, because if I don't see lots of people watching them, it probably ain't going to be worthwhile carrying on, even though it is rather good fun. And apart from that, I will see you soon, I hope. Probably, if you see a scruffy looking person idly meandering round your street with a pencil and block of paper in his hands, it could even be me, you never know. If it is me, buy me a drink. Take care, cheers.